talk.
Absolutely.
Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of Building Empires Network. You got our special host, Cristina Franco and Andrea Cruz.
Yeah.
And we have a special guest today. I like to call him a silent killer because he likes to kind of stay to himself. Mr. Sean Zavary.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for letting me be on here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Sean. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, so, let's get started. So, Sean, kind of tell us a little bit about, how you got started and what did you do before you got started in real estate?
Yeah, so basically what I did before is, so I come from a family business background. My family owns a furniture company here in Houston. It's called Exclusive Furniture. So I was working with them basically since high school all the way until college. So it took me about 6 years to graduate high school. 6 years to graduate college. So I was working for them with them for about 7-8 years.
Okay.
Did everything from accounts payable, accounts receivable, warehouse manager, sales manager. I did all the stuff. I wore all the different hats. And basically around 2015, 2016 was when I was going to graduate college. And I just saw myself like not doing furniture for the rest of my life. So I started like looking into different avenues. And when I wore, basically when I was with my family, I wore all those hats and I was like, what am I good at? What do I enjoy doing? And I started like talking to myself and thinking, reflecting on like, all right, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I was graduating with a corporate communication degree.
Nice.
So I was just, it's just a degree.
You're
just to
a
get
smart
a degree.
guy.
Yeah, smart guy.
So it was just a degree. Yeah. And I was just like, what am I going to do? So started looking back and I was like, well, I really enjoyed sales. I really thrived in sales when I was with Exclusive. And I was like, well, sales is, let's do sales. But I was like, what in sales? My girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, she was basically, she was working for a builder. She was like their sales rep or assistant sales rep. And she had told me how much her builder clocked in, like as in her builder made $600,000 the previous year. And I was like, damn, selling homes, $600,000. Okay, real estate is the answer. Let's go ahead and do real estate. So I started doing real estate. I was like, all right, I'm gonna go ahead and get my license and become an agent, the whole traditional way.
Right.
So I was still in school. I was working on getting my real estate license. And, I was kind of looking into real estate as well, researching. And when I researched, I saw flipping homes and stuff like that. I was like, oh, well, let me go ahead and get my license. Eventually I'll work to start flipping homes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, somehow, by the grace of God, I was in class in college and I basically, this guy named Nick Ruiz, he popped up on my Instagram feed. He started talking about how he wholesales properties and how he flips contracts with no money down. And I was like, well, what is that? This is real estate. So I started looking into him. And that's what got me into wholesaling. I was like, all right, that's where I kind of learned the whole language and everything of wholesaling. I was like, well, I think this is what I can do. I used to flip shoes, flip candy. And I was like, I can flip contracts. So I was like, let me go ahead and get into this. So basically started, looking into wholesaling. But I was like, and then I came up with that thought. I was like, well, I need to work for a company to learn this wholesaling game. So I actually got hired by Network Realty. I never told anybody that, but I got hired by Network Realty.
Heard it first here.
I got hired by Network Realty. And at that same time, right when I got hired, probably like a day or two later, I got an email from Nick Ruiz where I was on his email list that, hey, he's doing a $2 promotion for his course. He has a course. He's doing $2 a month. And then after that, it's going to be $99 a month, like subscription, right? He's like the pioneer in the game. Everybody's doing subscriptions now. And he was the one. Yeah. So I was like, well, okay, $2 not going to hurt me. So I went ahead and signed up and started talking about all this wholesaling stuff. And I was like, wow, like this is what Network Realty was telling. Like this is what they're actually a wholesale company. I didn't know they were wholesale. I thought they were just an investment company. So I was like, all right. I started, pouring into the course. And I was like, all right, well, this is what I can do. I can do this on my own. So I called Network and I was like, hey, I appreciate the opportunity because they wanted me to get my license. I still had a month to get my license, to get my test and everything. So I appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and just do this on my own. So started doing it on my own, started reading into the course, started listening to Sean Zavary, and the rest is history. After that, I started putting bandit signs. May 31st, 2016 was my first bandit sign I put out. I graduated like May 16th. 2 weeks later, I put my first bandit sign, started doing direct mail. And I got my first deal, closed on it, and like August 15th of 2016.
Sean Zavary was really big with direct mail and bandit signs.
Yep. So Sean Zavary, he was in my ear all day, 24/7. I would just listen to his podcast. He had a Flip to Freedom podcast, so I'll just listen to him all day. And by the grace of God, 6 years later, we're, 7 figures for the past 4 years, and
awesome.
I have a team.
Yeah.
I have a team of about 8 people. We're like a hybrid team. 4 people are in office, and then the other 3 to 4 people are in overseas.
Yeah.
And then I don't count my cold callers as a team.
Right.
But yeah, we have cold callers. We do a bunch of marketing. We do radio. We do all this stuff. So
I know I hear your radio ad all the time.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where I'm at, and like you were saying, basically now we're getting to developing and stuff like that, because wholesaling is a good business, it's a good transactional business. It's a cash flow business, not cash flow, but it's like an ATM business. Basically, it brings you a lot of, it's cash heavy. It brings you a lot of cash, but again, you got to look at what's going to bring you passive, what's going to generational wealth, and that's where I got into. I wanted to get into commercial, and basically there's different avenues of commercial, right? There's mobile homes, apartments, RV parks, all that good stuff. But I really resonated with office warehouse flex spaces, triple net leasing, and that's what I'm gonna go ahead and that's my next venture.
That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah. So even before you got your team and decided to start an office and all of that, what were the struggles and what were the things that you were actually facing? Because obviously you did put your first bandit sign, but what happened next?
I would say the struggle when I was by myself as a solo person. I mean, there's different stages, right? So when it was just me, and then my wife, she was my girlfriend at the time. She joined me in 2017, but
that was probably the best thing, right?
Yeah, it was the best thing. Honestly, she quit her job and she was like, she was gonna join me. She just like spontaneously did it. She didn't even tell me she was gonna do it. She just, hey, I quit my job and I want to come work. Shout out to the wife.
Yeah, and behind every good man is a great woman.
Yes,
100%. So I think the main struggle was consistent marketing, right? I felt like, all right, I marketed like 5,000-6,000 this month. I didn't get anything. All right, well, let me just continue just working on the leads that I have.
Right.
I would say the consistent marketing. It was just a mindset that I have to consistently market to get those leads, even though like that 5K of bandit signs or direct mail went out and I haven't got anything back from it, is just keep going with it and it'll come in return. So now, I mean, we're consistently marketing every day, every week. I mean, we've been doing this since 2019 consistently. I would say from 2016 to 2018 was just kind of like up and down.
Right.
It was like,
trying to find your tune.
Yeah, trying to find the tune and just trying to stay consistent with it. The mindset's always been there on the work ethic. I mean, that's I built that from the furniture, from working with my family. I mean, I used to work, 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. working with the family. So I was used to a 14-hour shift. So it was the work was there. I had the work ethic.
Yeah.
It was just the consistent marketing. The sales was there. Sales was there too. But it was just
yeah. But I agree with you on the marketing part, because once you stop marketing, it's like it's like an investment that you make. It's always an investment. Hey, I'm gonna do this for marketing to produce leads, and then something will eventually come
you're
up.
investing in marketing, and people say, oh, wholesalers are not investors. We're definitely investors. We're investing into marketing. We're investing into things that like we're hoping that we get a return on. And actual real estate investors, they're investing into actual assets that they know, like I'm coming in, this is going to appreciate. I'm coming in with equity. Wholesalers are coming in with investing into marketing where they hopefully they get a return, because after marketing, you still got to put the sales into it.
Right.
You still got to put the follow-up into it. You still got to convert it with the transactional. There's different steps to it. So
yeah, I feel like a lot of wholesalers don't get the ones that are actually, have like an actual system behind it. They don't get enough credit, but if only people knew, like that's like the best thing you have, because you're constantly getting deals, and then you get to choose like, hey, what am I going to do with this one? What am I going to do with this one? So you get to pick, what you want to do with it. And I think, that's the best thing, you're constantly getting different new properties. Every month we get this out. I'm like, oh, this is a good one. Oh, this is,
Right.
So it's like a lot of people don't see that. I mean, as a flipper or as a person like, hey, you're waiting to get somebody to get you a deal. Nowadays, if you're not out there getting your own, like, good luck, because
I agree.
It's a lot of people out here now, so
it's saturated.
So
I don't know, like, how do you do it, like with your buyers? What is your niche on your buyers? Because being a wholesaler, a lot of wholesalers can get stuck with just a bunch of contracts, right? So what my question to you is, how are you handling that?
How am I handling buyers? So basically, We buy every deal low. We got to buy it at a discount rate. We're not buying deals at like deals where it's like super slim, right? We have to buy deals with meat on the bone where we know that the buyer is going to make money, right? If it's a buy and hold guy or if it's a flipper. So the way we do it, our disposition process is basically we get the property under contract and we get pictures and whatnot, videos, then we send it out to our buyers. We have about 2,500 buyers on our list, right? It's actual list that we grew over time, right? It's a 6-year list that we've been, vetting buyers. We've been finding them on Facebook. They've been finding us through referrals. So we send it out to them through email. And then usually, we get a bunch of hits, showings. We have showings or just lock boxes or whatever the case may be. And then if after 3 to 4 days, if we haven't sold that property yet, then we go ahead and do an SMS. We do a Facebook blast. We do put it on My House Deals. And then we kind of go from there. But I mean, right now, just to kind of let you know, we're selling deals right now. With the market kind of slowing down, I would say there's still buyers buying, but they're buying at like 78 to 80%, right? Probably a couple months ago, they were buying at 80, 82%.
Right.
But we're buying, we train our acquisition guys to buy them, and we train them to think like investors, right? Think like investors, buy them at, run comps, we got to buy them at 70 to 75% minus our fee in order to, be comfortable with the spread.
Right.
Some deals don't work out. We go in, price drop the seller. And if they take the price drop, we take it. If they don't, then it's just a large. I would say about 30% of our deals are fallouts due to title issues or just we can't sell them or sellers backing out.
Right.
So we put in 30% knowing that it's going to back out. So we at least try to put 15 to 18 under contract, hoping that we can close on 10 or 11.
Yeah, and it is like that. I think everyone always has a fallout.
We tried that national thing for a little bit. We tried national wholesaling. It was cool, but it was just, I felt like we created more chaos.
There you go.
It was just like we weren't in control. Right. We didn't know about the title companies. We knew about the title company, but we didn't have a relationship with them.
For one,
right. And then the buyers, we just didn't really have a relationship with them either. Then we had to have realtors show our properties. And then, obviously realtors and buyers in the same market. And, we just weren't in control. But that was like a 50-60% fallout. So, which was supposedly normal.
Yeah.
But it was just too much of a fallout. But yeah, that's kind of how we handle it. We just, we go through our disposition process, but we train our acquisition people to think like investors, think like, hey, is this a property that like, is it cash flowing? If it's cash flowing, like what's the 1%, 2% rate? And then just getting it at a 70-75%.
So out of your experience and out of your knowledge of coming up, because you are still fairly new and you're coming in a millennial age where there's a lot available and then there's a lot available where you can overeducate yourself. And then there's people doing nothing, and it's like, so don't get stuck on the overeducation. But being that you come from sales, I think is a big plus
100%.
Because of the fact that you just said what is normally what I say. If you could flip a pancake, you could flip a house.
Yeah.
Right.
However you look at it. And so being with what you said, what would be your go-to, maybe not a book, maybe a person for that way some people could learn how to get the sales mentality. Not everyone has a sales mentality.
Yeah.
No, they'll go in there and they'll be like, F it. They have the ugliest attitude. And you have to understand that when you're in sales, any sales, you have to pretty much liaison. If they don't learn the word liaison, that's pretty much you need to pamper a lot of asses to get to the end point. So, so who do you follow for that?
So sales is basically, it's a skill, right? So sales is a skill. So
skill.
The skills that pays the bills.
There you go.
Absolutely. So sales is a skill. You got to develop that skill. It's not like some people say you're born with learning how to sell. I feel like you can learn it,
right?
But it takes a lot to learn it. You have to build connection with the seller or the client. You have to build, you have to be able to become their friend.
Right.
If you can't become their friend, if you can't connect with them, if you can't figure out a solution for them, and you're just there, then you're basically just a data collector.
Yeah.
Right.
You're just collecting data, and you're just trying to like, hey, this is how it is.
I like that data collector.
Data collector.
So you can't be a data collector.
Don't be a data collector.
Yeah, you got to be a solution provider, and you got to build their connection. You got to build that connection. So there's a few people that I look for currently. Like as time goes on, you get into different levels,
right?
And you're looking at different people or influence, which is Instagram, whatnot. So there's this guy named Jeremy Liner that I look for. I look into Bradley.
I like that.
Bradley is good. We did my current acquisition guys, we have a sales course from the All In guys.
Okay.
From Adrian and
I had
Andy.
it too.
Yeah. So theirs is good. You know, everybody kind of teaches the John Martinez, which is good. John Martinez is good, but I feel like he needs a little bit of sauce in his thing. I mean, his approach is different. So there's different approaches.
Right.
You know, so there's always, you know, there's that negative approach, there's a connection or whatnot. There's the aggressive approach. There's different approaches. But yeah, those are the guys, Bradley, Jeremy. I like the all-in guys. Steve Chang, I've never been through his course, but he has a good, I like his approach. I've kind of seen it a little bit. So he has a good approach. But with sales, you need a structure, right? You can't just like, so all our guys have a sales structure on how the call is going to take place, right? It's not, we don't just like free willy at all. Like, you know, we're like, all right, we're just going to go ahead and just build a connection, build support. Like there's a system to it. And our system is, you know, there's a 6-step process that we have. And we've learned that over time. And, you know, you got to do the intro, setting the expectations, you know, the motivation, property condition, the roadblocks, as in who's else involved. What's the benefits? What's the next thing they have to figure out, and you know, hitting them with the offer or whatnot. So it's just building a structure, building a sales system to it, and developing that skill.
I really like that, and y'all need to pay attention to what he said, because when you are in the business and you're just coming in, you can come off on people very arrogant.
Yeah.
And you lost that person, and you can come off as somebody very soft. And you lost that person. The one thing I used to always say, just chameleonize yourself. No, you need to learn. But you need to learn how to really set your tone, because there's a different strokes for different folks. And that's where the chameleonize comes in. And you need to learn how to become that salesperson that can relate. You have to be relatable. If you are not relatable, you're not going to sell. You're going to have very low returns on what you're investing in already. You know, with all your marketing and stuff. And the one thing I can say is he seems very peaceful.
And Sean, girl.
No, but some people,
he makes it seem like that.
Okay. But some people really want to come out and they just want to blast everything they do all in one bucket. I mean, like they say, on your first date, if you kiss on the first date, you just lost the second. You know, so basically, so he's not giving it all to you guys. So you really need to follow this guy. You know, that's something that, you know, I mean, I've been in the business for many years, and I've seen so many different people and personalities, and you know, I'm not saying I know it all, because the millennial stage is completely different. The way everything is being done with cold calling, we were the callers. We were the ones knocking on doors. We were the ones doing all that stuff. Our assignments used to only be 1,500 and 3,000. When they told me I could make 20, 30, I was like, I was like, but is that fair?
Yes, it is.
Do that. Like, oh my God, you know. And then I learned, okay, I can do this. Yeah, I had to switch the mindset. So you guys really, if you see somebody that's really producing and really doing things, then you need to switch your mindset and be around those people. I think it's very important.
If I get one thing about sales, so I tell my guys this all the time. You got to fail forward, right? You got to put the reps in. If you're not putting the reps in and you're not failing forward, you're not learning then. So you're gonna mess up on calls. You're gonna say things that you shouldn't have said. You're gonna be aggressive on some calls. You're gonna be soft on some calls. But if you don't learn from that, and if you don't move forward from it, then you know you're not gonna keep growing. Right. So I've been in sales for a long time, and I have guys who are green and like they have never done sales. I have one of my top acquisition guy. He's never done sales.
Wow.
And he basically started with us May of last year. So he's been with us for almost 14 months. And he's basically well over 6 figures the first year.
Wow,
and
that's
he
really
basically
good.
he was in the Air Force. Then he worked out. Then after that, he got injured in the Air Force and whatnot. So then he kind of started coming back to the job, you know, kind of to the States and stuff. And then he worked at Walmart, he worked at Target, and then he worked with us. And he is killing it. Like but he doesn't have that, you know, he doesn't have any background, but he learned the game, he learned the structure, he learned the skills, and he put the reps in. In, you know, in June or July, I was like, damn, this guy, I don't know if he's gonna be able to be good. But now he's our sales leader. He's our sales manager, and he's throwing numbers that I've never seen before in our company. Well, our company is growing, but you know, he's growing with it. So it's really good to see. You got to put the reps in. You got to fail forward. And if you're not willing to fail forward and put the reps in and cold call and talk to sellers, then you're not. How are you going to get better?
Right. That's awesome.
And I'm sure you probably too, as a leader, you also like, showed him a way like, hey, this is how you start, this is how you do it, and stay consistent with it.
Yeah.
It's all about consistency. People try it for like a week or two and they're like, oh, I'm not getting any results. I'm not good at this. Like, just stay consistent, just keep going. And next thing you know, it's like, oh wow, I got that first deal, and then that second deal comes in. So it's just staying consistent.
Absolutely, you gotta lead from the front. You gotta show them, like, I was in the room in the same office, making calls with them as well, so they can listen to my calls, so they can see how I'm handling it. At that time, I didn't have a sales leader. I had a couple acquisition guys, which they were listening to them as well. They weren't like, I didn't feel like they were like, capable of being sales managers. So I was in there making calls as well, so we can lead from the front. Right. That's how you gotta. In order to develop leaders, you got to lead them.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be a leader for your team.
100%.
A lot of people say, well, you should have figured it out. But it's even me, I'm guilty of that every day. Every day, but once you get to talk to them, they understand. But if they don't hear it, the first thing everybody says when they start wholesaling, what do you say?
Yeah.
They get somebody on the phone, and I always tell people, how bad do you want it?
Yeah.
You want it. You want it for you so you can sell it forward. How bad do you want it?
Right.
How much do you want to make? But that's why I try to follow a lot of different influencers. I don't listen hardly to the radio. We laugh because I'm like, I just try to listen to people talk.
Yeah.
Because it helps me to talk.
100%.
As winded as I am now, I used to not like to talk at all. I was like,
now we talked the whole way to the trip here.
Like I would be like, what for? And now it's like I hear people talk, and now I know how to be more responsive, how to come back, how to answer the question, or even in your gesture, how you come off. I'll be like, hey, what's up? Instead of just, hey, how are you doing?
Hey, now it's just like, simple. Hey, what's up?
No, you have to be, you really have to become, you have to learn how to when, where, and why, and what. You have to. I think that's real important. I really like your vibe. I like the way you bring things across, and what you're sharing is like, people, we try to bring something different. We all do the same thing, but we do it differently. And all these pointers that he's come here, taking his time out, his wife, like he said, you support that. You support her opinion. Just because some of us wives are at home, the guy will feel like, well, I'm the one doing it. You can't do it on your own. How about I just go ahead and redirect this whole relationship? No, you have to be on board with that.
100%.
And I think sometimes when the money comes in, everybody starts acting funny at the end. All these, we go in our however we got to go, but then you'll see some girls there all for different reasons. And those things can fall through.
But, I know what girls you're talking about.
I heard this quote. It was like recently I was listening to something. He was like, money and alcohol shows the real you. Like if you get a lot of money,
I don't know.
If you have a lot of money and you're an arrogant person, you're gonna be more arrogant.
Oh gosh.
If you're an arrogant person, you get drunk, you're gonna be more arrogant.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a calm, collected or whatnot, or you're
if you're drunk, you're not gonna be confident.
But you're not gonna be, you're not gonna let everything get to you.
That is true. That's why whenever I drink, I'm like super friendly.
Oh, I'm 100-pound ballerina.
Yeah, exactly.
But I don't know. I act the same sober and maybe a little more.
No, but when I'm too silly when I drink. I like get retarded. I'm all over the place. Like no.
But that's it.
But thank you so much, you guys. This is Sean Zavary. Did I say right?
Before we leave, before we do it, I did want to kind of talk to him about. Now, I know you also do a lot of one-on-ones with your agents. You pretty much everybody in your company. Tell us a little bit more about that, because I really like how you have your business structure, how, very involved with the people there with you. Yeah. And what is it, the things that you talk to them? And
that's a great question. So I learned this from my coach, actually, doing one-on-ones. Right. So basically I do one-on-ones with each team member, not like now I don't do it with my follow-up agents, the people who are overseas. I let my sales leader do that, but mainly my leaders, we do one-on-ones every single week. We don't miss a beat. We do it in person. We sit in the office and we just talk about my main 3 questions I ask them is what's working, right? What's not working, and what would you do different if you were me? right? This kind of, it just builds transparency, communication. They'll let me know things. It builds more culture. Like they'll tell me like, hey, this is what's happening, or this is what's not happening, or this is what's happening in my personal life, this is what's happening in my business life. Is there to build a relationship with them, just so they can see me as a leader. I can help them grow, because it's not only about me, right? It's not only about me, it's about them as well. It's about how they're going to reach their goals, how they're going to reach their dreams. Because if they're able to accomplish their goals, their dreams, then they're going to want to keep growing with our company, right? And if their end goal is not to grow with the company, is to do their own thing or do whatever, I'm there to support them, right? I don't want anybody to feel stagnant. I want to continue growing. The more people that you grow, the more people that you help, the more that you get back in return.
Totally agree.
But that's what we do one-on-one, just to kind of be on the same page, because it gives them a voice to say something behind closed doors, right? Because if we're out in the office, we're just out there, or on the phone, or we're just talking about business, and just they're not able to kind of express themselves. But once you kind of make it an intention for them to say something and ask those questions, then they'll go ahead and pour out to you. So I've had, I found like really like people are like, this person is going to grow with me. And I found people who don't really share much, who don't really like, they have the same thing. Then they don't, what it shows is they don't trust you. If they don't trust you, then how can they see you as a leader? So you kind of already have the, you kind of already have the roadmap. Like, all right, this person's probably not going to work out. So you continue, you try to help them, but you kind of
more to the people.
Exactly. And then you kind of have, kind of start planning next moves, as in like, all right, so I know this acquisition guy's not going to work out. So let me keep that job hire open and continue recruiting, because, eventually I know he's probably not going to work out in the future. Because if they're not willing to share anything with you personally, like about their personal life, then, I understand it's kind of private, but I mean, if we're having these meetings every single week and you don't want to, how is the culture going to be built? Like, it's not
I think at that point, it's where you kind of be like, hey, if I feel that I'm uncomfortable with somebody that I work with, then it's like, I don't know if I want to work with that, because it's kind of awkward, right? You can feel the vibe. And one of my mistakes was keeping those people, because I'm like,
handicap.
But then it's like, you don't know how to go about it, because you don't want to fire them. Like, hey, I didn't feel your vibe. But it's kind of like your gut feeling, like, hey, this guy's not going to vibe with you, or this person, like,
or your people.
Move around. So it's very important to let that go. Like, hey, if this not working out, let it go. Because it's like you waste time on training them, teaching them,
investing in them.
and then deep down that it wasn't going to work out. It's like, I should have made that decision when I felt it.
In 2019 and 2020, I had a huge team. I had like 6 sales guys, 1 disposition agent, 1 transactional coordinator, 1 assistant. It was like 10, 11 of us in the office. The whole overhead was high. And, there was some bad apples that kind of ruined the whole culture. And if I had seen that then, because I used to do one-on-ones then too. And, there was people who didn't share much, and I didn't really think much about it. They're probably just a private person. But those were the people that kind of,
and it's always those people,
right? So if I knew then what I know now, it would have been different. But again, you got to go through that experience. You got to go through those trials and tribulations in order to become where you're going to be. No one just always just
knows it all. And then we still are. I still am, There's a lot of things I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. So I guess now I know.
It continues to grow.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do. I feel like if I'm not challenging myself, or I'm not, like excited to wake up because I'm like, oh, I'm learning how to do this now. I'm learning how to do that. And it's like, it's nothing excited to be about,
And he said one thing that was real important is that you had a coach.
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is that you always need a coach to tell you where you're going wrong, for the simple fact that when you become a leader, it gives you an ego, and a coach can help balance that and bring you back down so that you are a true leader. There's a point in time where just because you're the owner, this is one thing I told my husband. I mess with my husband a lot, but I say, when you walk into your building, everybody there is supposed to respect you, because that's your position. So you get confused with position and leadership.
Right.
And so, like I told him, no matter what, everybody is going to respect you.
Right.
But who really likes you?
Yeah.
You're not relatable. So he said one important thing, and that was getting a coach, and that will bring the balance. And I tell you, because my greatest coach is, I go to church. I'll be there 2-3 times a week if I can. Like, I'll just go and pray by myself. Because it's the best way to do it. And, say a bunch of our fathers and stuff and go on about your day. But you have to know where, and if you start feeling that, then maybe you need to reach out to somebody like him, Andrea, or whoever, and look for coaches to bring you back down from, from the skies. Because when you don't have anybody and you don't have a team and you put yourself up so sky high and you fall, that's it. That's it. That is it. You got scared? Sorry. But I like that you shared that.
Aggressive in here.
Since like 2017, 2018, I've been in masterminds. I've had coaches, personal coaches, business life coaches, because it helps you grow. It helps you put you in a mastermind. I know you've been in a couple masterminds we were in, and you start thinking bigger, right? You're like, oh damn, this person's doing that. So it puts you in rooms with people you want to be like, or you want to be like in the business world. And then coaches, I mean, you always got to have someone that has been through it, right? The experience, right? Someone's coming in new in the game, or they've been in the game for 2-3 years. I can tell them a few things that can help them, avoid that curve, that learning curve, and they can kind of get to that place where it took us 3 years to get it. They can get it, within a year and a half, just because, hey, these are the trials and tribulations we've been through. So coaches and masterminds is like, honestly, I feel like it's the key to like continuously learning, continually growing, and becoming, the business owner that you're trying to become.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I like that.
Yeah, putting yourself in rooms where there's higher level. You can't be the best in the room. If you always feel at a superior in the same room, then you're not growing. How are you gonna? You're just gonna keep leveling down, or you're gonna just stay at one point. Or your head's just gonna get big. You gotta become the dumbest in the room.
I like that. I like that.
I agree.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's good. I mean, it sounds like you run a pretty good lean business now. And that's something that I also kind of wanted to talk about, because a lot of people feel like I have to have like 20 or 10 acquisitions and to get, to be able to scale, to be at 7 figures. And, I want you to kind of talk about that, because I feel like that's a lot of people, they feel like, because the bigger the team is, the better they are.
Yeah, no, the bigger the team, the more chaos you create, and the more heads, the more feelings, the more emotions, and all that good stuff. It kind of just brings it. So yeah, I had a big team at one point. It was just a lot, but really that time where I told you I had a bunch of people in the office, and I didn't want to I always wanted a big team, because that's what you learn. More people to scale. To scale, you need more people. But it just kind of ended up crumbling because, we had bad apples. And at that time I was just like, oh my God, what's happening? Like, I built this team and now I barely have 2 people. And I was just like, that was like a really downfall in my business. I was just like, damn, I invested so much time in these people. I taught them the game, and they actually went ahead and tried to start their own thing, but they didn't. Yeah. It didn't.
It's
prosper.
Not easy.
But and I was just I was not depressed, but I was super down. I was super upset. My wife saw it, and I was just wasn't myself. Luckily, I didn't have any kids at that time, because So I was just super down. But it was the best thing that happened, because it helped me develop a lean team, right? So right now our team looks like it's me. It's my transactional coordinator and disposition agent. So that's one person, right? That's one person, because I feel like that position goes hand in hand. Once you sell the deal, or once you get the deal under contract, the TC sends it to the title company. They start the title work, and at the same time, you're looking for a buyer, right? We have a VA who helps my disposition agent, market the deal, as in put it on MailChimp and put it on Facebook and stuff like that. But she's answering the calls. So I feel like that position goes hand in hand, because once you got a buyer, then it just goes to TC and they just handle the title work. I have 2 acquisition people in office, right? Those are my closers, right? So we train them to become closers. They come in as a junior acquisition and they work their way up to a senior acquisition. So I have my 2 senior acquisition office, and I have 2 follow-up agents in Egypt, and basically they're getting paid hourly. And then I have an executive assistant, who's also in the Philippines. So that's 3. 6.
What does she do? Your executive?
She does everything. But yeah, she's her name is Michelle. She's my first hire, actually. She was my first hire back in 2018 of December.
Wow.
So 2017 of December. Yeah, 2017 December. She's my first hire, because we just celebrated her 4 years in December.
Oh wow.
Nice.
But yeah, she does KPI. She pays the bills. She pays our credit cards. She does the P&Ls. She helps Ashley with the dispo side. She listens. She does some call audits, and she sends it to me or my sales leader to go ahead and do call recordings. Because we do call recordings with the salespeople. She does random audits to make sure, she does the KPIs and like making sure that people are doing the numbers. And she does random tasks for me, like whatever I need. She post my videos on YouTube, right?
Does she edit them too?
No, she doesn't. She just posts on YouTube just because I'm focusing on posting them on Instagram. Then I have my videographer posting them on TikTok. And then
it's a lot to be an entrepreneur. Jesus.
Yeah, social media. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to grow a personal brand. But I mean, it's important.
It's a good thing. Yeah.
It's good. It builds some opportunity, but it's like same like business. It's a long haul. You're not gonna after 10, 15, 20 videos, you're not gonna get where you need to be.
Right.
It's a consistent every day, every year type of thing.
Right.
But there's people that you look up to, like Ryan Panetta, that are like, man, this guy made
he's
it
good.
to like a whole different level by just posting. So like it gives you that,
doing commercials
like it's
now,
possible
too.
Like it's possible to do it because he's he's there. There's other people that just brings opportunity, like Tim Bratz and stuff. But anyways, you're asking me about lean business. I get kind of carried away.
That's
so
okay.
We're listening. We're listening.
So the lean business. So I have those people. But what really helped me become lean was building a hybrid company, right? So a lot of my staff, $450 to $750 an hour because they're overseas. That's really good money for them. They get bonuses. And my acquisition guys, I have 2 closers, so their base plus salary, and then putting that TC and dispo position in one position, right? It's one person, so she gets salary plus commission on dispo.
What do you pay on dispo?
So dispo right now, currently, because she's been with us for almost 2.5 years, so currently I'm paying her $2,750 a month. I was paying $2,500, but after 2 years, I increased her a little bit. But $2,750 a month, plus she's on a tier, so 4 to 6% commission. So 4% on 0 to 25,000, 5% on 25 to 39,000, and then 40,000 plus she gets 6% commission. And then she was on $75 per transaction, but now she's $150 per transaction. So $150 per closing. So I mean, she's 5 figures a month.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
in the Philippines, that's a big deal.
That's a big
No,
she's here.
She's here. She's
okay.
Ashley, she's here. She's my rock star. She's
nice.
She's really good. So people that you feel like they're going to be there for you for future, I take care of them because if you take care of them well, they see the future.
They take care of you.
They'll take care of you. Yeah. So she's the breadwinner in her family. But now she's married and stuff. But anyways, so it feels good to be able to.
The husband.
He's a manager too at a restaurant. No, I'm kidding. He is like a general manager, and you get paid more than a general manager. I thought it was pretty cool. Like it's just it's pretty cool to see that, like be able to provide
those
opportunities and see her life change and stuff like that. So that's cool. And then in my acquisition guys, $2,000 a month for junior, and then $2,500 a month for senior, and then they're on the 7 to 9% commission bracket on the same gross profit.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Yeah, and then junior is a temporary role, right? You're there only between 1 to 4 months. If you're not able after 4 or 5 months, if we don't see you excelling, we'll be able to tell the first or second month. But if we don't see you have the capability to become a senior, to become that closer, then you're probably not the best fit for the company because. We want our people growing continuously in leadership roles with responsibilities.
Now, do you have like the EOS systems, going in your business, like the scorecard kind of deal?
We have KPIs. Like Michelle does the scorecards and how many calls they're making. We have sales meetings every single day. That's actually what I was doing right before. We have a sales meeting at 10 a.m.
Okay.
So it just basically we get together, the sales, just a sales huddle, talk about what quality conversations we had, who we're getting signed up, who do we sign. What list are we hitting, things of that nature, just so everybody's on the same page. We have quarterly meetings with the whole team, kind of like, hey, these are our goals, how we're going to get our goals, who's going to help us, like, hey, Ashley, what are you doing to get to this goal? Hey, Dante, what are you doing to help us get to our goal? Hey, Sean, what are you doing to help us get to, like, everybody's on the same page. So we have those quarter meetings. Quarter meetings, team meetings every week, sales meeting every call, and then we do call recordings, call role plays.
What do you look at for the call recordings whenever you're like?
We just listen to the call, right? It's like 2 or 3 calls that Michelle sends us that are like that they take them through the process, and we're listening to see if they're following the script, right? Are you following the sales structure?
The ones that are taking them through the process.
Yeah, are you taking them through the process? Even in the little 2-minute calls,
right?
What did you say to be able to follow up with this person? Like, what was your introduction like?
That's good. When you do that too, when you do that with your agents. I don't have the time to do it, but I want to do it.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's a game changer.
Mhm.
It is a game changer because it helps you, like, it helps them learn more. Because if they're just kind of in it, you know, they're just kind of in it and they're just kind of getting in a rut. But if you're like continuously training them and continuously like developing their skills and like, hey, this call you did good. I have a little, it's like a little T chart. It's like good stuff that you said and bad stuff, like as in constructive criticism.
That's good.
So like we'll start with the good, or sometimes we start with the bad. But like you want to give them positive feedback as well.
Right.
So they have positive feedback, and then they have like, hey, this is constructive criticism. This is what you need to work on.
You
so
like
it's just
your
not
shit together.
Yeah. So it's just not. So you're just not talking about bad stuff. Like, hey, this is
Right.
get your shit together. Get your shit
Yeah.
together. Because they get pumped up from good stuff. Like, hey,
Right.
you did this good.
I think that's something you
did
need
this
to do
good.
with your husband and your husband too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I think you cut the yard really nice.
Right. You did great on cutting that yard.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how we just
Mhm.
you know, and then honestly, like, you know, your people are something that's going to change you into a 6-figure company to a 7-figure company. 1 to 2 people can change your whole business.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can change it, but like, how much do you want to be involved in the business? So it's you're literally like, what my coach told me one time was like, you're literally 1 or 2 hires away from becoming a 7-figure to an 8-figure company. Yeah. So you're 1 or 2 hires away from becoming that.
I'm looking for those kind of hires. No, I got you.
Yeah. That is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, the way you've projected everything, I mean, it's real clear. I mean, I can literally see. I'm new to all this stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's been telling me, you need to get on this, you need to get on that. And I'm like,
I told her if she was to get her business systemized the way we have ours, she would be.
Yeah, the experience in
Yeah.
it was what you were talking to me before off air. And I was just like, damn, like,
She has
welcome
a
to
lot.
college. Like,
yeah.
that's creative. Like,
Yeah.
that's you have
Thank
like
you.
you have a lot of ammo.
Yes,
So that's
a
good.
lot.
Yeah.
But you know, whenever I tell her like, hey, you change this in little systems, softwares, things that, you know, like she's saying, I didn't grow up with that, and I'm like, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't either. But everything else, she has it. So it's like if you were to change that, I mean, she'd probably be billionaire, more billionaire. You know,
small tweaks make mountain peaks. So
There
just
you
a
go.
little
I
small
like
thing,
that.
1 or
There
2
you go.
things.
Small tweaks make mountain peaks.
Yeah.
there you
I
go.
like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's what I'm trying to get into, and people hearing that these things are available, because there are people that they're barely coming in and they have, you know, a substantial amount to invest, but they still have to keep their 9 to 5.
Yeah.
I mean, Giovanni, he's one. I don't know if you know him. Giovanni, I forgot his last name, but he works a 9 to 5, and
I don't know who
he's
Giovanni is.
producing hard. He works with Chris, the one with Muhammad. I'll show him later.
Oh,
Yeah.
The guy, no, Chris. Okay, got it.
I mean, apartments. He does a lot, and very
Mhm.
quiet, very, very simple. You know, family man, and it's like, wow, you know. But he learned to systemize.
Yeah.
And that's why he was telling me, Cristina. I said, okay. I think at one point you get to the control. I mean, when you come from structuring it way from the bottom, and then, you know,
But
you're
the thing
there.
is, when you structure, you kind of have to start from the bottom again.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it kind of like, oh, because it starts like, all right, let's start here, you know, in your business.
You're not related to Steve Franco, are you?
No,
Oh.
no, actually, I know he's a realtor, right?
Yeah, he's a realtor flipper.
Mm-hmm.
He does a high volume.
Yeah, I've heard of him because
What's
everybody
his name?
else, Steve Franco.
Oh, we have him.
Yeah.
I thought you said D. Franco. Isn't that
No,
a girl?
that's the
Isn't that a
renovations.
girl?
Yeah, she's back out. She's doing, I think, 2 deals right now. D is.
Great.
Nice.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah. But I mean, just, you know, before we leave, just kind of share too, like, you know, I know you were talking to us about.
We ain't gonna let you go.
No worries. Part two.
Question.
Mine is simple. How did you feel when you got to the 7-figure? How did that make you change and you maintain it for the 4 years? Because a lot of people get to that point where they see that money, like you said, then they turn out left and pivot different, and then they lose everything. If you maintain it, you're like, okay, it's just 7 figures. How can I scale that still, but be the same guy?
Yeah.
Great question.
It's a good question. Becoming the same guy, I mean, it leads me back to my faith, right? You know, I'm a God-loving man, like I was saying in the beginning. I go to, you know, to my religious center every Monday and Thursday. And it talks about no ego and no, mainly we talk a lot about like not having ego. So that kind of helped me maintain it. But like, as in like to continuously grow is because I had a vision. Like I know what I need to do. I want to become that front row dad. That's my vision, right? Becoming that front row dad, being able to take my kids to the park or to the pool or to their swimming class at 1 p.m., 2 p.m., not being able to stuck in the office. So I know if for me to get out of myself out of the office, I got to build a company. I got to build a team. I got to become a leader so I can have them handle it and take myself out of it and work on the business, not in the business. So that was my vision. That's my thing, as in like, because then if you're in the business, it's a job. So now I'm only going to see my kids when I get home at 5 or 6 p.m., play with them for a little bit and then basically go. So, but in 2019, when I was my first, I think it was 2018, it was 2019 when I had my first 7-figure year. It was like, wow, this is amazing. But the entrepreneurship hit me like, all right, what's next? Let's keep going. Let's keep moving up. So every year, by the grace of God, we've been growing as a company. But I know my vision. Like I'm able to leave the office now 2:30, 3 o'clock. Able to go pick up my daughter from school at 3. So I'm getting there. I put the intention there, but I feel I still need to be able to completely take myself out. I'm probably taking myself out about 80-85%. That's good. But I want to take myself out completely because I have a vision is being that front row dad.
I feel like I'm digging myself more in there.
And that's the way it goes, right? It goes up, especially if you lose somebody. Especially if you lose somebody, you got to get back in. But that's why you got to continuously hire, continuously recruit. No matter if you're like, I got the best team ever. This is a rock solid team. Yeah, but imagine if 1 or 2 people leave, then you're basically there. So you're always recruiting, always having people on the sideline, on the bench, ready to hop in, because you're like, I already planted my seeds.
On the DMs.
I already planted my seeds. There's another quote that my coach told me. It was, dig the well before you're thirsty, right? So dig the well before you're thirsty. Before, you need somebody, already have that lined up, already have it figured out, like, all right, this is what I'm going to do. So to answer your question, man, it was mainly just having the vision, knowing what I need to do, what accomplish, and like having that continuously growing. Like I want to keep growing. And I know like 7-figure was not the goal for me. It's not the goal. It's not about the money anymore. When I hit the 7-figure, I was like, yeah, that's amazing. All right, what's next? Because it's like money is good here and there. Money comes and goes, but like, I mean, the more money, the more problems, right? Like, where's Biggie at? No, it's only Tupac. But anyway, but yeah, more money, more problems. So you gotta figure out to buy yourself not more money, find yourself more time, find yourself more freedom. Because once you have that, then everything else works out. Because I mean, if you don't have time, then your marriage is gonna suffer, your religion is gonna suffer, your kids are gonna suffer, and you're just not gonna have time to yourself. So, but I feel you. I like when you kind of feel like you're getting back in, because there was times where I'm like, shit, I thought I took myself out. Now I'm putting myself back in. But it's like, the people play the biggest difference.
Right.
The people play, because we're in the people game, people business with the sellers and with our team.
Right.
And there's people who are doing great 7 figures even a month. There's some people, but like, how much are you involved in the business?
Right.
I'd rather have that freedom than anything, because how much money
you can
you
build
need.
that though. Like you can build a bigger, you can earn more if you learn how to keep everything systemized and build the people. That's kind of like where my goal is to like building the people, systems and everything, and then just becoming better,
becoming better, continuously growing, and the coaches and masterminds can help you continuously grow and become a better person.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Very like that. This was very informative, guys. I really vibed and felt with this. It was really informative. You brought so much different stuff. I only had like 4 little questions.
But this is the best episode.
The best 16. No, I really like it. I really appreciate you coming out. When somebody like this shares their information, answers a question, you really have to appreciate their time, because time is what we can't buy. That is one thing you can't buy. And if somebody gave it to you, then they just gave you a nice little donation.
And one of the things I love about Sean is like he's solid in all his departments. You know what I mean? And being a good father, being a good husband, being a good leader, being a good servant, all of it. He's like killing it and all of it. And I think that is what success is,
That's a report card.
Some people,
that's a report card.
And all, because some people could be very successful, but their marriage is it's bad, or they're never, they're always gone, and so you should be very proud of yourself, Sean, and guys, that's someone you guys need to look up to, you know, get mentored from, you know, because as a guy, I mean, you are a walking, like what it needs to be, right?
Yeah.
Right. From
I still got
like, thank
lot to
you.
work.
When he
lot
walks
to
in the
work on.
room, it's like, oh.
he
Nothing
feels
like that.
very holy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, but it's good because that's a lot of people's problem. Like, hey, I'm successful in business, but my marriage is falling apart. You know, I don't get to see my kids. You know, my kids, you know, they have things and I'm not there. So, you know, that's you actually conquer the skill of being an entrepreneur because
there you go.
you're doing everything.
Yeah, but I built the intention though. Like it was, I went into it knowing in 2019 before I had kids, in 2020 when I was gonna have my kid, like, hey, this is the type of father I want to be, this type of husband I want to be, because I, you know, you gotta manifest it.
The ladies are gonna be like, okay, do you have a cousin?
No, you gotta build the intention, right?
yeah.
And building the
That is true.
intention is the biggest
That
thing.
is
'Cause
true.
if you don't have an intention, then how are you gonna get there?
Right.
If you don't know what you want, then how are you gonna get there? My coach tells me all the time, "What do you want?"
Yeah.
And when he told me that first, I was like, "What do you mean what I want? I want more money." No, but like, you know, you gotta know what you want.
Yeah.
So if you don't know what you want, then how are you gonna get there? If you don't know where you're going, like if I don't know, like from here, when I get in my car, if I don't know where I'm going, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna sit in the car.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drive around.
I'm gonna be like, Sean, why are you still here?
Yeah, why are you still here? Right? Like, what are you doing? I'm like, I know I gotta go back to the office. All right, I gotta go to the office. All right, so now I know I gotta get on 59. I gotta go here. I have a roadmap.
Right.
Building the intention, you gotta have a roadmap.
But that's that you're right about that. A lot of times we start and we're just like, we just want to make more money.
Yeah.
But what is that going to consider? What is that going to take? I mean, if you're like away and all that just because you want to make more money, then I don't think you're doing it right. You know, so that is very true. Being intentional and knowing what you want and hey, how can I get better, make it easier? You know, it's not just going and like a hamster and you get nowhere.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
I love it. I love it. I love everything about
yes,
today.
Thank you so much
My
for
pleasure.
pouring
Thank
out
you.
all this
My pleasure.
nuggets. And
where can they reach you? I mean, he's buying commercial.
Are you mentoring or anything in case anybody may?
Yeah, I brought in a couple clients after I started doing the personal branding. I started doing personal branding like in March or April. Then started putting it on social, put it on Instagram because it was just TikTok first because I was part of a TikTok challenge, and that's kind of what got me rolling, building momentum. Right. So yeah, I took in a couple clients. I took a couple one-on-ones, but mainly people who are doing 2 to 3 deals, bringing them, scaling them up to like 5 or 6. I haven't done any newbies or anything like that, just because, you know, time is limited. But yeah, I mean, you can follow me on Sean Zavary, Sean Sean Zavary Zavary. Follow me on Instagram, TikTok. I got a Facebook, but I'm not really that active. But you know, DM me. Or you can just
we sent him a friend request. He didn't take it.
I didn't know how to accept a friend request. I was like, how do I accept this friend request? But yeah, or you can email me at Sean Sean at Greenlight Offer. A company's called Greenlight Offer.
Okay.
Woo!
There you go.
Yeah, the commercial. You got it. You know it.
Yes.
Yeah, the Ric Flair. Woo! Because he's retired. Ric Flair is going, so he passed it through him.
That's funny.
Yep.
All
Awesome.
right.
All right, guys.
Thank
you.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in.